Hey people, so it's Scotty going with the Loserbago. And again, Faye's not here. So it's just us. So scoot on in, cozy on up, and we're going to tell some stories. So, first off, everything with the program's going great. Like, it's becoming official. Uh, the 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 whole little homeless outreach thing we've been doing with the van is being sponsored by the church, uh, Christ the Cornerstone. Uh, Not only is it their van, but like all of like the help and support that we're getting through them is just like on another level. Like the amount that we can do now is just so much more than me and Faye have been able to do for the last 2 years. At this point, 2.5. Like it's a godsend. So thank you to everyone at Cornerstone, uh, Pastors Sharon and Roger, Pastor Vaughn, um, Lisa, her whole family, like just everybody at Cornerstone. You guys rock. And like so far, like you've more than like you've done more than help. Anyway, moving on. So it's got a it's got a name. Our whole little mission. They gave us a name. Uh, so it's going to be called Project H.o.m.e. Homeless Outreach Mission Engagement. Home. I kind of like it. It's kind of fitting. They're working on logos, and hopefully we can get something stuck up on that van, so it doesn't look like we're like it should just say free candy on the side of it. We need some identifying markers on that van because right now it's kind of like a creepy van. And like it just needs to be more recognizable, you know, a little less shady looking. But other than that, I mean, it's going great. It really is. Like we just need more sleep. We need, you know, it is definitely coming together though. And everybody that had sit there and warned us that trying to like start up like our own program was going to be difficult. Yeah, yeah, it is. Absolutely. Like, there were quite a few times me and Faith, felt like it wasn't going to get up off the ground. But we didn't care. We were stubborn. We were going to drag it. We were going to drag it along as far as we needed to. I mean, it's still a bit of a struggle, but oh man, is it worth it? Like, we love it. We really do. And getting past the van part of it for now, and the whole project home. So Faye met somebody yesterday and brought him up here to talk to me. Well, not even brought him up here. Brought him close enough to be able to point to the truck and go, "He's in there. Go talk to him." And then she went scampering off again. So this guy comes over, knocks on the door, says the old lady sent me. So since he didn't say your old lady, I didn't know he was talking about Faye. I just assumed he was talking about one of the older ladies in the church. I didn't know which old lady. I didn't find out until later. Oh, it's my old lady. Oh, okay. But anyway, he came up. He's a homeless guy, uh, and he used to stay in the area. He has a campsite. Had a campsite here, but he moved out of the area, and that campsite went vacant. So he took me on down there, and we went for a little hike, went for a little tour, and he showed me like how to get into that campsite, where it is, gave me the rundown on it. Uh, so now I'm sitting on an available campsite. Faye was screwing with me, calling me a homeless real estate agent, which is funny. Come on, it's kind of funny. We have a nice listing available. It's got a creek running through it. It's got beautiful shade trees and beautiful amenities in a quiet neighborhood, available for immediate moving. He was there for 2 years, but he hasn't been there in over a year. So it kind of grew back over, like the paths. Which actually isn't that bad of a thing, because, like, that way we can make them more hidden. It all depends on who ends up getting that camp. Because some people want a really hidden camp, and some people want a blatantly obvious camp. So, it really depends on who I come across that really needs a new campsite. That's going to be in the general area. I've got a couple other campsites too. It's funny though, because like at this point, I think I'm sitting on like 4 vacant camps. But I mean, certain people want to be in a certain area, and they don't want to leave that area. So just because I have an available campsite doesn't mean I can get anybody to move down there. Like, I'll just have to sit on them until somebody in the area needs them. And then it's like, all right, I got you. I mean, but that's the thing. It's like, I'll, I'll give somebody the info if they absolutely need it. Because I can't guarantee a campsite. Like, I can't, like, you know, can't guarantee any of the variables that come along with that. I can give you a few good heads up. But I mean, other than that, I mean, you know, it's not like I could control like the wildlife or like the the local residents. Like, I helped one group early on get a campsite, and like they were there for like 3, maybe 4 days before they got themselves booted. Come to find out that they would like stay up all freaking night arguing and yelling with each other. And it's like, okay, you can hide a campsite. But if all you're doing is sitting back there getting all lit up and then yelling and hollering at each other all night long, you're getting the cops called on you. Like, that ain't nobody's fault but your own. And they got upset with me because they got themselves in trouble. Like, oh, I'm sorry that my campsite wasn't meth head proof. Like, I apologize. Like, I didn't soundproof your meth den. Like, I accept no responsibility for what other people do. I was like, I'm sorry, how old are you? At some point, you're going to have to accept some responsibility for your own actions. So, yeah, I pick and choose who I help out when it comes to a campsite at this point, you know? Because, I mean, some people just aren't appreciative no matter what you do for them. But then again, some people are wrestling with their own demons so much that it is hard for them to have a normal interaction with regular people. It just is. And, you can't hate them for it. You can't look down on them for it. You don't know what the hell they're going through, you know? Laughing, from time to time, laughing is acceptable, though. Like, come on. Because everybody does dumb shit. Everybody does funny shit. Some people do dumb and funny shit at the same time. And God love them. Some people are just dumb, funny shits. You know? We met this one guy, and we felt for him. Yeah, it had a rough enough story. And it was like, we felt for him. We got him a tent and a sleeping bag. So he takes the sleeping bag. He left the tent, took the sleeping bag. He goes over in the parking lot to like where like they got this little pond area over at the one Walmart. And he just laid down the friggin' sleeping bag in the parking lot on the asphalt. Threw his bag next to it. That's where he's camping, right there. He didn't give a crap. We're like, it's really not a good idea. Like, they're they're gonna jump on you. Like, it's not a good idea, man. Like, seriously, like just giving you a heads up, man. It's not gonna fly around here like that. He didn't care. He really didn't care. The next morning, we, woke up to a slight commotion and looked out, and there's a bunch of lights out there and a bunch of cars all around. We're like, oh man, don't tell me like somebody ran him over. Like that was something else we were warning him about, like how cars fly through there. Like nobody's going to see you laying up against a curb like that. Like, come on. No, nobody hit him. Nobody ran him over. The cops were all there because he was butt naked down in the pond taking a bath at like 8 o'clock in the morning when the store had just like opened like an hour earlier. Like, he's literally out there just scrub a dub dubbing. Like all the geese and ducks went down to the other end of the pond, and he's over there just like bubble bathing in the muddiest water. It was like, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing? So yeah, we had to re-gift that tent to somebody else. Uh, they carted his little butt off to jail, and we ended up getting back the sleeping bag. So we ended up gifting that bag out to somebody else too, because we were there for 3 more months and we still never saw good old Tony again. So yeah, like some people you can help. There's other people like you try. That's the best you can do. You can try. But you have to kind of harden your heart a little bit sometimes and be like, okay, this one's beyond, like, not necessarily that they're beyond help. They're just not ready for it yet. You know, we've come across a few of those. You know, they're going through some crap. You know, and it's the same thing as if, like, you go through a breakup. Guess what? You're going to go through some crap for a little while. You know, you go through a loss in a family. You got a mourning period. You got to work through. You got to deal through it for a while. You'll get back on your feet, but it's going to take a little bit. You know, whether it's financially or it's emotionally, it's going to take a little bit. A lot of the people out on the street are dealing with the same kind of grief. They're just dealing with a larger amount of it a lot of the time. And it's not that they're necessarily just lazy. It's not that they're necessarily just a drunk or an alcoholic or a drug addict or this or that. No, they're people just like everyone else. And sometimes, like, their life is just thrown so much at them that they're in an almost permanent mourning state. And it takes a while to get that fog cleared away from your eyes. It takes a while to get that kind of fog cleared out of your path. Sometimes you just got to work through it. You know, sometimes you can. Sometimes it's too much. You know, but you got to remember that doesn't make somebody a failure. It doesn't make them less of a person. It just makes them more of a human. You know, like, you can't just tell somebody that's mourning to snap out of it. Like, it doesn't really work, and it it's neither helpful nor humanitarian. You know, like, other people's pain isn't always convenient for us. That doesn't make it any less legitimate. So no matter what people are going through, you want to be a good person, be there for them. You know. And even if, like, you can't be there for them, you can at least sympathize and understand. Like, even if you haven't been there, you've had something go on that's given you at least the slightest taste of it. So imagine if that pain was tenfold or 20-fold. Think about how you'd be doing then. You know what I mean? So, yeah, like, you might look at people and instantly just judge and, damn, why can't you get your shit together? It's just not always that easy. You know? Like, we just ran into a couple that are having like the hardest friggin' time. And it's like, there's not a lot of under the table work out there. Especially for the homeless. Like, it's hard to stay on a schedule or like keep up with a schedule because like you can't just go home and go to bed at a certain time. You go to bed when the street allows it. Like, you have no saying what other people are up to or what they're doing. And if you gotta friggin' stay up because somebody's lingering around an area and you don't trust them worth a crap, who knows when the hell you're going to bed? You know? Like, how are you supposed to be up at a certain time in the morning when you can only go to bed once all the crackheads have gone to bed, and once all the like the meth heads and all the this and all the that have decided that they're going to quiet the frig down and they're going to go off to their own little friggin' area. Like, you don't have ID, you don't have this, you don't have that. Like, you can't get cleaned up. Like, there's so many friggin' issues that just get in the way of performing daily tasks. And like I've had to go through it. Like, I've been offered a whole bunch of friggin' jobs, and I've friggin' accepted the majority of them. Most of them end up not being real jobs. It's just people checking to see if like you're willing to actually work. Like, you have no idea how frustrating that kind of crap is either. Like, you go out of your way to try to make it somewhere, and you get there and they weren't serious. They just wanted to know if, they're just testing you. Oh, okay, you found out I'm willing to work, so give me a friggin' job. Like, what, you wanted to know just so you know whether or not to look down your friggin' nose at us as you drive by? Like, it didn't benefit you, it didn't benefit us. Like, me and Faye got an offer for me to like work for this contractor, and we had to meet up with him down in Middletown at the Wawa, and like everybody was going to meet up there and go to the job site from there. All right, absolutely, yes sir. We stayed up for a couple hours panhandling to get up enough gas money to get down to friggin' Middletown. Went in, talked to the manager of the Wawa, got permission so we could crash at the Wawa so that I would be there already when like the crew showed up in the morning. Nobody ever showed up. We sat there all friggin' day. And then we were stuck in friggin' Middletown with no money, no nothing, just stuck. Like, You can, like, when you have no resources and what little resources you could scrape together gets wasted on crap like that. Yeah, I understand why a lot of the other homeless people are like, go fuck yourself. Just get out of my fucking face with your nonsense. Nobody's gonna give me a fucking job. Fuck you. I get it. I totally get it. Because, I mean, we've been dealing with it for 2.5 friggin' years now. Like, anyway, I love you guys. Try not to judge people too much. Because you never really know what's going on with them. I mean, you might see their surface problems, but, you know, every house that has, like, bad siding, there could be much, much worse rot on the inside. You never know what you're really looking at. So, anyway, I love you guys. Be good to each other. And later.